for him too? Pippen, right?
I thought Wiggins in terms of talent level would have been a low level Pippen because Wiggins would have been a low level Pippen if he actually put in the work. If he tried, because he has that talent level, but because he's got no real drive.
And what about Barrett?
See, I haven't truthfully. I've watched a couple of Duke games because that Zion kid's amazing.
Yeah, it's tough to watch that game. But what do you?
I think he's gonna be a decent player. I don't know where I would put him up on the totem pole because realistically, I have been more paying attention to Zion because Hans is a man child. But I think he's gonna be a good player. I don't think he might not be a top 5 or top 10 player in the league at some point. But it's hard to gauge guys in the way that Duke runs their system. I mean, all you gotta do is look at Anthony Bennett. And you never know how guys are going to turn out after college.
Quickly, because we keep getting on the
Marco Fultz,
Anthony Bennett, I look back on the mock drafts, he was supposed to go like 6 or 7. So that,
but even
he's still a bust. Still a bust. But like, I don't look at him as a number 1 pick because someone reached for him. But he was obviously a huge flaw. RJ Barrett was going to say the closest thing that I would compare him to, and this is like his best case scenario, would be like a Paul George, Jimmy Butler.
But he can't.
Well, that's if he does everything.
The problem with Barrett,
not even close. Yeah, but Jimmy Butler went 30th overall too, right? I'm not even. And I love Butler, but I'm just saying.
Look at that Duke situation. Barrett's problem right now is he has a very similar issue, not as bad. But he has a very similar issue to Fultz. Is that his shot isn't very good, and they should be deferring. I think they have a third option. I can't remember the kid's name.
Cam Reddish.
Yes,
he is
that kid.
He is better than Barrett.
That kid is as a shooter.
He's better than Barrett.
As a shooter, he's again much more developed. Now, if I'll go with DeMar for example. DeMar was not a great shooter when he entered the league and so forth. So you can work on those aspects and you can get better. But right now, Barrett's biggest fault is that again he's not a good shooter. So he's gonna have problems becoming
I think he's not a bad shooter. I think he's an okay shooter. I want to wrap this up because we want to do.
Okay, but just one last thing. I'm just gonna say that the ceiling I would say for him, and I don't mean same skill wise, would be like a McCullough. But keep going.
Oh, so like just below an all-star, just below an all-star.
Yeah, like a good side good player, but not
on a bad team.
LA.
Okay.
LA.
Oh, the only thing I was gonna say quickly about RJ was just that when he played in the Canada Cup, like remember Canada played the Save the Dream team, he went against NBA guys and started and was apparently like one of their better players for Team Canada with NBA guys. So he's played against great NBA players.
Good player. You just gotta know how the transition is.
And he's also 18 or 19 years old. Lakers, quick, you guys can go at it because I'm not gonna have too much.
I'm just gonna say a few small things. First,
That's gonna be another statement.
I was gonna jump to one game because there's so much I can talk about. Let it down. I can talk about all the times he's missed free throws at the end. I'm talking about LeBron as a king. So this isn't really about LA right now. This is about LeBron as a king. It's not their fault that he decided to go there. So this is basically a LeBron attack. You're missing free throws to cost your team the game. You're being called clutch for some reason. You're deferring at the end because you're scared to get fouled to go to the free throw line. You're deferring because you're scared to miss. You go into Denver. You go into Denver and get smoked by 30 points. Michael Jordan would never lose to anybody by 30 points. Let me make sure we're clear about something. He scored 10 points in the first quarter, and he finished the game with 14. You played 30 minutes in that basketball game. You're a king, and you let 3 quarters pass and score 2 buckets? You put the ball in the hoop when you have the ball in your hands 24/7 and just put the ball in the house twice? That's a king to you? Is that a king? Answer my question.
Let's go.
I need my question answered.
I need my question answered. What was the question?
Is a king to you a guy that scores 2 buckets when you play 30 minutes and you put the ball in the hoop twice when your team needs you?
But here's the situation.
He was not a king that night. He was not a king that night.
We're going on one game. Let's take the whole body of work. What place are they in?
Let's take their 13-9 record. They're in 6th.
They're in 6th place. Their whole body of work. The team hasn't had Rondo for the majority of the time through suspension. Ingram with that whole situation.
Is he that much better than Lonzo though? Is he a needle mover?
Lonzo again. If you look at what Lonzo's been doing,
he's been great defensively though.
But is he a shooter? No.
Is Rondo a shooter?
No. Thank you.
But at the end of the day, Lonzo's also has
not a king. Not a king.
But at the end of the day, are the Lakers a much better team with him? He's having a heck of a year. You can't say that he's not.
Which LeBron?
LeBron's having a heck of a year.
Oh my gosh.
LeBron's having a heck of a year. Let's just look. Stop.
I know what. I won't
let you hog the mic to try to do false praising to LeBron.
Praising.
If we're talking about his
career year,
he's not having a career year. What he's doing is you know are you actually watching his games? Just say yes or no and let me finish my sentence.
Watching the game.
Perfect.
Sure.
Is LeBron in games that they're clearly winning when you could be because he plays a lot of minutes, right?
Sure.
He's in his 16th season, right? Is there games in the fourth quarter where they're up by 18, 20 and he's still out there padding his stats? Yes or no? Just yes or no?
He's been out there.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
So I don't want to hear about wear and tear and minutes, how many years. You could have easily been out the thing. The reason your stats are so high.
You complain when you rest. You
No,
complain
I
when he
don't.
plays.
That's a lie, by the way. I don't. I
You
complain.
complain when he rests. Why is he out there? He's like, why is he taking games off?
I think what he's saying is he's showing up against good teams and playing well against them, and that's what I'm checking right now. I'm going to check right now. I'm going to go through who they
They just beat Dallas yesterday.
But Dallas is not a good team, right?
We're talking about.
I'm going to go through their wins and then you can ask some comments. So the first game of the year they lost to the Blazers.
Okay.
They lost to the Rockets. They lost to the Spurs. They beat the Suns, who were the worst team in basketball.
How much
So
did they
one
win
win. 131-113 handedly. They beat the Nuggets at home by 7. They lost at the Spurs.
Okay.
They lost at Minnesota.
Okay.
They beat the Mavs by 1 on Halloween at home.
Okay.
Not a good win. They beat Portland by 4 on the road.
Okay.
They got smoked by the Raptors, who was not even close.
Which by the way, the Portland game is tough to win in Portland. But go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so
And
they
they lost
also
one
say-
already.
the
They lost
Raptors-
the
Hold on, hold on.
Raptors,
We're gonna make commentary. They also lost to Wiggins, the Minnesota, who was in. They had discord in the team,
Butler was still
and they
playing.
also lost to the Spurs, who were losing 30-point games
Okay,
in a
we're
row.
going-
So
hold
hold
on,
on,
we're
commentary.
getting
Let's
that.
do commentary.
The whole point is I'm looking at is there a
Let's do
hold on.
commentary.
Look at the Golden State Warriors have lost to bad teams too. They're like,
Yeah. No, but my whole
They're
thing
not-
is I'm trying to find a signature win, one or
Okay.
two. Okay, I'm trying to find a good win.
They lost twice to Orlando. I know they had struggles against Orlando
They,
twice.
they beat they split with Minnesota.
Yeah,
they
it was
split with
Orlando.
Minnesota. They beat the Kings, who are below them.
Yeah.
They beat the Hawks by 1 at home, who's
Sure.
below them. That's bad. They beat the Blazers, so they're 2-1 against the Blazers. Lost to the Magic. Beat the Heat, who are one of the worst teams in the East.
Okay.
They beat the Cavs by 3.
Wade wasn't there, by the way. Keep going.
They beat the Jazz, who were very bad, by 7 at home.
Okay.
That's fine. So 1 win against the Jazz. I don't think they've beaten a playoff team yet, except Portland. The Magic, who are 8th as a playoff team, they won again. They got spanked by 32 in in Denver.
Denver game.
They beat the Pacers without Oladipo, I'm guessing.
Without Victor, of
Right.
course.
And who are in the playoffs by missing their best player. And they beat the Mavs by 11. Like I said, I went to bed at halftime. They were getting killed in that game. So they had a big second half. The Lakers, they got killed.
So the refs helped them then.
So here we go. There's a commenter.
The whole thing is just like what I was looking for in that whole exercise was just, did they beat Toronto, Milwaukee, Philly, even Detroit,
Yeah, you
LA,
you're looking
Clippers,
for their
Denver,
win.
OKC.
But you can
Golden
only
State.
play who you get put in front of you.
That's fine. But the point is, any team they played that was decent,
So,
they haven't beaten.
I think you telling me that the Raptors beat Golden State, but because Curry and Draymond wasn't on it,
No,
it's a tainted win.
no,
You
no.
just said you
Can I ask you a
play.
question?
Whoever plays
Can I ask you a
plays.
question, Joe?
Yeah.
We all agree, yes or no, that this Laker body of roster is better than Cleveland that he had to work with, right? We all agreed on that, right?
You said you
I
didn't.
agree
Well,
with
you agreed
it,
with it
of
now,
course,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
We all agree.
Yeah.
So if we transfer them to the East, right?
Yeah.
Should they be losing to teams like Orlando?
No.
Exactly. So
Okay.
we're talking about this. What do you mean okay?
What do you mean? But what does that have to do with?
It has to do with
Orlando's
everything,
beat a
dude.
lot of good teams this year. Orlando's a much better team.
Orlando was a better team.
Orlando's a much
They're
better
500.
team.
Yes, that's
They're
cool.
500.
But the King shouldn't be losing to Orlando. The King, who has more help, shouldn't be losing to Orlando. The King, right, against a team that is not even supposed to be making the playoffs. You have them on your list? Let's see your East.
So, hold on.
Are they even there?
Who?
Are they even
East?
mentioned? Yeah. Did you put Orlando there? Are they even thought about? Are they even
No, I know
afterthought?
Washington on there when they went down to bro.
Okay, so Washington too.
So you're telling me that the only ones that count is that, especially when teams like we can go through the Golden State thing. They've lost to a lot of bad teams, and they're a much better team.
Missing
than the Lakers.
players.
Okay.
Missing players.
Missing Rondo, who's their best point guard.
You and me both know you don't care about no Rondo. That's an excuse.
Brandon Ingram.
That's
missed
an excuse.
Three
Rondo-
3 games.
Ingram
Okay.
can't spell basketball.
Ingram can't.
Is Ingram good to you?
Ingram's a decent basketball
Is he
player.
a good basketball player?
He's a good basketball
Would you
player.
trade him to get Beal?
To get Beal?
Yeah.
I mean, if
You
you're
wouldn't
looking
even
at a
hesitate.
1-for-1, obviously.
No, as the
he's an
Lakers. So
awesome
if you're the
player.
Lakers, would that if
Obviously, Beal's better than Beal. You're also talking about an all-star player, and you're talking about a kid in his,
I
third
think
year?
Beal's a one.
he's supposed to be a future?
Again, but at the end of the day, Beal's a better player, but that's not saying much about Ingram.
Joe
Ingram-
took it to the wins and the losses. I never took it to that. I'm not talking about the Lakers. I'm thinking the Lakers can do
You're
something. I'm
just-
looking
the
at
eye
helping
test.
the
You're looking
refs.
at the eye
I'm looking
test.
at watching
How
them.
they can help on the
Yeah,
refs,
they
too.
do, but I'm not even caring about that. I'm watching the eyeball test. I'm watching LeBron play, and there's nothing.
They
to
haven't
be seen
been
of a
great.
kid.
That's not a secret. Like they have the records, okay,
Okay,
but they haven't been
here's
great.
the thing that I take away with you. Again, not both of you. But
Me.
you don't give enough credit to LeBron.
You give too
Because
much,
at the end of the
and
day,
it forces me to take
the
away from it.
Cleveland situation is a perfect example. They're tanking or whatever they want. That team, they're tanking because they know for a fact they don't have the talent level to compete.
Who?
That's why they're tanking. The Cleveland situation. That roster is a 4-7 team without LeBron. If LeBron had missed the entire year last year, like let's say he tore an ACL, That
I gotta
roster would have been
I,
in the
I,
bottom
gotta,
of the Eastern
I
Conference.
gotta stop you. How could you say the words tank and then act like that's the same team? If they're
It
tanking,
is.
the 4 and
It's
7.
the same roster.
But if you're right, if you're tanking, that's not their real record.
What do you mean?
If a team is tanking,
They're
they're purposely
tanking because
losing.
they know for a fact that any.
No, but you're calling them a 4 and 17, but you can't call them a 4 and 17 when they're 4 and what are they? 4 and what?
4 and 17.
Oh,
4 and 17. I know that. They're 4 and 17.
4 and 17. You can't call
Without
a team
LeBron.
of 4 and 17 when when they're tanking. You don't know what their record is. They're tanking on
But here's
purpose.
the thing. Now, but see that's why are they tanking on purpose? Because at the end of the day, they don't have the talent to compete.
Okay, fine.
without
So
LeBron.
even if they're not good enough to make the playoffs, that doesn't mean they're a 4 and 17 team. They're tanking.
We're gonna move on because we
They're
got to take off.
tanking.
Last
You
thoughts.
can't ignore that.
Get off the.
Okay, fine.
the
LeBron sucks
comparison.
and Cleveland's tanking. That's my
How does,
final
hold
thought.
on, hold on. How did the Lakers finish the regular season in terms of?
They're
Are
going
they
to-
any different? Like from
they're
what
going
you
to
know,
Western
you
Conference
think,
Final.
are they still on schedule to finish fifth for
Of
you?
course, they can steal a couple of
Western
wins.
Conference Final.
Not even a
I'm
prayer.
predicting this.
So
Western Conference Final.
They're not even a prayer.
Where do you have them in the?
I
I need a place from you.
What, the Lakers?
Not a win. I need
have
them
them-
one
I have
place.
them in fourth.
Okay, so let's say they stay in
Reasonable.
fourth. Time out.
Reasonable, yes,
Because
it
I'm
is.
you're gonna backtrack real quick now.
Okay.
So you said Lakers are gonna lose in the West Final, right?
West Final. Is that, yes,
Okay, so
yes,
they're gonna play
West
Golden
Final.
State in the finals.
Yes, that's the way that I
They'll
would
play
say
Golden
it.
State. So they're fourth
Fourth.
or fifth, whatever it is.
Well, yeah.
Okay, they win that series. One plays the 5 or the 4, so they're gonna lose in the second round then.
Potentially, Golden State finishes first. And technically, when I did these rankings, I probably should have rethought that strategy in terms of Golden State finishing
You should
first.
have
But the
rethought
Bucks
it.
are still lose on
What?
purpose. They won't want that. They're gonna
But
do
again,
it.
He
you
did it
also-
to get Toronto too.
but you
Remember he did it
also-
to get Toronto
yeah.
and Cleveland?
But you also have to factor in the situation that
Golden State
you
might
can't
not finish
factor
first.
Golden State might not finish first.
Yep.
Because again, realistically,
But the Lakers might
the
not even win their first
the
round.
Golden State Warriors in the regular season, like you guys say fool's gold.
Golden State is full.
It's fool's gold in the sense that the way
Oh,
that
that they're not
play.
trying,
They're
right.
not
Yeah,
trying.
yeah, but
that's
that's
why
true.
I don't take any credence to how they do in the regular season because I know for a fact that those guys are just coasting into the playoffs. They don't care if they finish first, second, they don't third, they don't even care. They just really want to stay healthy and they don't care if they have to go on the road for whatever because they know as a unit they'll be perfectly fine. So again, in this
But against
situation,
these teams here, like, do you think that
so
the
again,
Lakers
Houston,
gonna
for example, is going to be ahead of at second. That probably, I don't know if that'll happen.
So
because
let's
the way
even
it's
say
going
that the
down.
Lakers, like, this is the thing. What I want to do is even
Will,
just
will
look
I
at
take
this.
will I take the Lakers over any of these teams that I have over here? Especially the fact
Not San
that you
Antonio.
don't know what's going to happen come the deadline.
Trades. He'll get some
trades.
help, right?
Yeah, he'll get some help.
LeBron?
Right?
He'll
If
get help.
Anthony Davis goes to the
Can I
Lakers,
say one thing? Can I say one thing? We have to go. I just want to say one
You have to
thing.
go.
I've been meaning. I had this in my heart to say all week. I got to say this. One thing that bothers me about witnessers, you're a witnesser.
here we go.
One thing that bothers me
Lakers
about
jersey, you got
this
returned.
one, yeah, this is what bothers me
You
about
got
witnessers
returned.
is that you remember when Cleveland when we went to go eat and Cleveland won and I was sitting at the restaurant in the corner. I was sitting in the corner because I despise LeBron and I'm emotional and I love basketball and I'm invested in the sport and I hate that a guy like him who sucks is getting all this praise and he won and I couldn't stand it and he won his championship in Cleveland. I'm in the corner. When Boston lost, I was sulking. I couldn't even I didn't watch one game of the NBA Finals for the first time in my whole life since my dad. I used to sit on the couch with my dad last year. Didn't watch
Who
one
won
game.
the series?
Yeah, that's fine.
LeBron won them the series.
They lost the finals.
Again,
Okay,
yes.
but I'm just saying, I'm just telling you,
Like what the
when
Eastern
you're
Conference
emotionally invested in something,
Sure.
you can tell, right? I know the difference between these fake Raptor fans and witnessers. They're very similar. Is that once LeBron loses, and he will, you guys are just gonna fan it off like, oh well, and then next year, oh we're gonna get
No one
next year.
thinks he's gonna win a championship.
I didn't say championship. I believe me, I wasn't talking about that. Once they get smoked in the first round, maybe.
Wow,
But,
yeah, first
I don't know if they'll win
no,
the series.
okay. So when let's say if they lose in the first round, you will be perfectly calm, no emotions, just like all the witnessers, and just say, oh well, we're gonna get AD next year. You guys don't actually believe and emotionally invested in him and doing anything. You don't actually believe in him. You're just saying it because he's a good bet.
Let me ask you something. So again, to finish off, because I
Last
have to
point,
agree.
yeah.
So if LeBron isn't that much of a difference maker in your opinion, why does we'll go back? Why does the Cleveland team need to tank this year? Because LeBron's not there.
Because there's hope in Zion. Do you not understand that?
So, but if
can go
LeBron's
another
not a
20
difference
years.
maker, why do you need to tank for
I
a
don't
guy?
understand. They
for a
didn't
guy-
trade LeBron. LeBron left.
Okay, but
So now that you
here's
left,
my
you have to
point.
regroup.
You're saying that LeBron's not a difference maker. That LeBron doesn't cost his team.
I didn't say he never makes teams better. I never once said that. Anyone can make a team better. I
You
think
said that LeBron makes his teammates worse. You made that
His
point.
teammates
lots
are
of
his
times.
team.
I
agree that he makes his. I
The
agree that he
team
can make
plays
his teammates worse, but the team better.
yeah, the team will play
I
better.
think
than
that's
the
possible.
Okay, so now LeBron's left, so the team should be playing at a higher
And they
level.
tanked.
But why are they tanking?
Because
they don't have the talent level
So
to compete.
you're telling me you're gonna, for the talent that they have, I never said they're NBA finals. For the talent
They're
they have,
not, I told you right from the beginning, they're going to be
but
the worst
listen,
team
I'm
in
answering
the
your
league
question. I'm
next
answering your
to
question.
Phoenix.
My talent, the talent level that I see from them, they could easily fight for 9th or maybe 10th. That's my opinion.
If Love was
Based on
playing and they were
Yeah,
healthy.
but
You
can I
guys
finish
are
what I'm saying?
not
Let me finish what I'm saying. What's the
Guy's
point
always
of
injured.
okay? But what's
Oh,
my
yeah, but if he's
okay? But the point I'm saying that you're not understanding is why would you be fighting for 9th and 10th when you could be fighting for Zion, who's your future?
So why don't the
What's
rest
a what's a
why
better
aren't-
fight?
Why aren't the rest of the teams doing that then?
A lot of teams are tanking. A lot of teams are
New
tanking.
York is, Chicago is, Atlanta
A lot of
is.
teams-
Again,
wants that. It's
but here's
common
the
sense.
thing. Or New York, Chicago realistically, they've been injured all over the place. Markkinen, Dunn, all those guys. New York, Porzingis might not even play the whole year.
Washington might end up tanking very
Yeah,
soon.
you're coming from a team that was an Eastern Conference, went to the NBA Finals, up on the top tier, going all the way to the bottom base. And again, we go back to the same situation I just mentioned. When LeBron left for Miami, they did the exact same thing. Because that roster was trash.
They did
We're
never
off
drop.
topic
They
and we're
never, they
going
never
on.
dropped. That's a lie. You're lying.
They weren't. They got
Miami did not drop to nothing.
I'm talking about
Wait,
Cleveland.
wait.
Cleveland.
when they got Kyrie.
When they were trash next year, and you guys say they were tanking. They know for a fact their team isn't good talent wise. So they tank because they don't have the talent for it.
What we're
And they
gonna
got
do
Kyrie.
is December 1st today. We'll probably do another show previewing the Christmas game. So we're gonna try and get us together maybe around like the 20th. We'll revisit the standings at that point because at that point it'll be close to almost about the halfway
Yeah, we
point.
always do our Christmas
Previewing
special
some
thing.
All Stars. We do the Christmas special. It's been fun.
Same
Unfortunately,
stuff.
getting back to
Same
Cleveland.
stuff. LeBron
Cleveland, the
steals a
Lakers.
couple of wins. We can't wait till playoffs.
The
We
refs
just gotta wait till
can't
playoffs. We shouldn't even do a show till playoffs because that's all. There's gonna be a whole bunch of hearsay until playoffs until I can look you in the face and say your team got smoked, and then you sit there calm and saying I'll get them well next year.
Then we also do the whole repeat. Oh, you know what? LeBron's gonna lose. Then all of a sudden, LeBron makes it again. And
That's true.
the refs help
Yep,
them.
yep.
This and that.
It's a cycle.
It's
It's a cycle.
goes
Never
on.
comes out.
You know how they
Yep.
do those spins.
I agree.
All right, guys. I'll see you in
Awesome.
2 weeks on the block.
I'll never forgive Brown for that. As much as I like Brown and Rozier, I would trade them in a heartbeat for what they did. If it wasn't for
Yeah.
them, they would have beat friggin' Boston.
Same thing with the rap. When you have one of the better players, you're
It's
always
5:30,
you're
yeah.
always in the
Yeah, yeah.
series. The Lakers will be favored.